Hello, thanks for tuning in. Joe Simhart here again, and I'm going to be talking about something that grabbed my interest while I was listening for the nth time to one of these great courses lectures by Professor Daniel Robinson. It's quite good, but I was listening to his exposition on Socrates and Plato in that time, and he brought up something about an idea that the Greeks had regarding the gods, that they didn't have normal blood in their veins. They had something called Ichor, Ichor. And I'm thinking, suddenly hurtled back into my past, back in 1975 when I first came across this group that published this book in 1935, the I Am Discourses, or the I Am movement, which began around 1934. They claimed to have about 1 million followers before the group got into legal trouble in 1939, 1940. But the group claimed to represent and channel or be representatives in terms of messengers, is what they call themselves, of this character Saint Germain. And then they added Jesus about a year later because they found that a lot of the Christians couldn't quite relate to Saint Germain, who was more of a esoteric Masonic character who lived around the time of Louis the 15th and 16th and Marie Antoinette. They actually knew this guy. He was sort of a mystery man, like Cagliostro and Casanova and others who claimed to have occult knowledge and powers and influenced early Rosicrucianism and all that stuff. So they added Jesus as an ascended master, and as a result, they were able to attract a lot of people interested in esoteric Christianity. But one of the things they taught when I first approached them in 1975 that fascinated me was based on their color system. The I Am group would not wear anything red or have any red in their homes. The interior of their temple that I visited in Santa Fe at the time was all painted white or pink rose in the rooms, purple handles on tools, but absolutely no red. And the reason was that they believed that red had a lower vibration, that it was an angry color, and it was earthbound. And the idea of the I Am group was to purify us in order that we could ascend, and we would invoke the violet ray, or they would. I did for a time when I tried to join the group. By the way, they wouldn't let me join because they found out that I had taken LSD, and therefore there was a hole in my aura which needed a couple of lifetimes of reincarnation in order to be repaired before I could be elite enough or advanced enough to be able to become part of this world-changing, soul-saving movement called the I Am activity. Anyway, I joined a different group, Church Universal and Triumphant, which claimed to represent the same teachings. And they let me in with my hole in my aura anyway. So the color thing, our blood is red. There's something wrong with that. And the way the I Am members explained it to me was that, and I'll read this from one of their ascended masters, which I printed out. Kuthumi is known as the master psychologist and sponsors the Golden Age psychology. He writes, the blood in the veins changes to liquid golden light, when we ascend, and we come back in our ascended bodies to teach on earth, which is what they claim these people do. They can come from the ethereal angelic realms, and they will appear in their physical bodies to teach us, and they will be like gods with this golden amber liquid in their veins. So Ichor, back to Ichor. I had to look this up because, I had heard this lecture probably 20 times over the years. So it says that Ichor originates in Greek mythology, where it is the ethereal fluid that is the blood of the Greek gods, sometimes said to retain the qualities of the immortals' food and drink, ambrosia and nectar. Ichor is described as toxic to humans, killing them instantly if they came in contact with it. Great heroes and demigods occasionally attacked gods and released Ichor, but gods rarely did so to each other in the Homeric myth. And then in the Iliad, blood followed, but immortal ichor pure, such as the blessed inhabitants of heaven, may bleed nectareous, for the gods eat not man's food, nor slake as he with sable wine, their thirst thence bloodless, and from death exempt. Because that's the Iliad. So this idea of the gods having this golden, toxic to humans liquid in their veins goes way back 2,500 years or more to Greek mythology. And somehow through the esoteric teachings and culture and whatever, through the Renaissance, it was passed down into theosophy. And that was passed down to the Order of the Golden Dawn, and the Iamers were studying all that stuff, Guyan and Ballard, and they had incorporated it into their mythology in their own way. So thus, like Greek gods, the ascended masters have this golden liquid in their veins. The Iamers don't claim it's toxic to human beings. That's a Greek thing, right? An ancient Greek thing. So, and there's another part of this myth is that smell of ichor, which is kind of an earthy, pungent, humans are kind of attractive at the same time. It's ethereal. That comes when rain falls on dry soil, and that smell that you have, that ionic, kind of earthy smell that comes out of the ground when it rains is considered like ichor. Anyway, another Greek thing. So this whole thing about the ascended masters has been picked up by dozens and dozens, maybe hundreds of different kind of cults. I'll put a link into a page where there are many hundreds of channelings from different ascended masters, some from the I Am, some from the Church Universal and Triumphant, and dozens from other channelers that are out there now. This color system about red, some of the newer channelers claim that you can transmute the red by focusing on it, visualizing it, and moving it to orange and gold, and because gold in the I Am movement, much like in the fundamentalist Christian and extreme right movement that want to go back on the gold standard, is considered sacred, as something given by God. The Iamers taught that gold in the mountains and what sustains the divine energy. It's like solar energy, solar rays directly precipitated into the earth. And that having gold around you or gold on you can help your purified God energy to expand and to heal the earth, and on and on and on. So in other words, gold becomes almost like an idol of the mind, or even a physical idol for Iamers. And also, for people that want to go back on the gold standard, they think that somehow that is God ordained and that our economy will be saved if we go back to that. Of course, if they look a little deeper into what the gold standard really is and where it came from, it's just a human invention. I mean, we could have used cow dung as a commodity. Gold doesn't have anything to do with it. It comes with consensus, with a political agreement, as to what the currency would be. So I don't want to get into all that, because now we're going to get into digital currency and whatever. But in essence, gold, if you want to believe like the Iamers do, is some kind of a divine substance that we should model our governments on. Well, then you're into this transcendental, crazy I Am, quasi-fascist organization that wants to dictate reality to all human beings through their ascended masters. And they also want to teach you that if you stick with their plan, that someday you can transmute all this red blood, that bleeds in all animal, into a golden amber liquid, into ichor, and become like the Greek gods. Anyway, so that's my blurb for today. Thank you for listening. And, when you bleed again, remember, there's a lot of symbolism in that.